All right, Aussies and Kiwis. Normally we do this on Monday night in our Monday night live stream the Monday after. I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes talking about Shane Van Gisbergen's day, talking about his progress, what they were saying on the radio about the car, explaining to you some of the small NASCAR details, some NASCAR rules. But for the last few Sundays, we have not had to do that. Obviously, Shane Van Gisbergen has won Chicago and Sonoma. That has been one of the main headlines, storylines. We talked about it that Sunday. Well, for the third straight Sunday, we are once again talking about Shane Van Gisbergen's day, but for different reasons. Because pretty much over as soon as the race started. So, yeah. But one massive thing of note, Shane Van Gisbergen's appearance has changed quite a bit. He looks very much like 2009 Formula One World Champion J.J. Yeley now. So that's a significant development. It's a joke, okay? It's a graphic mix-up, but it's really funny, okay? Laugh at the funny graphic, guys. Just laugh. Let's get on to his day now. Oh, yeah, I cut this from the regular race recap. If you want the full race recap, I'll put it in the description, or it's just my last video, so you can go check it out there. Shane Van Gisbergen, let's recap his day at Dover, shall we? This is going to be the quickest recap I've ever done for him. Shane Van Gisbergen, first of all, he has never made a single lap at Dover in the Cup Series car. Ran here in Xfinity last year. I think he finished 18th, 15th, something like that. Well, he has never made a single lap here in the Cup Series car. So you would think he needs some practice and qualifying in order to kind of get accustomed to Dover Motor Speedway. This track extremely unique. We got banking in the corners, about 24 degrees, and also very uniquely, the straightaways, both of them, highly banked, about 10 degrees of banking. So that is something extremely unique about this track. It's also a concrete track, similar to Bristol and Nashville. But as I said, one of the most unique ovals we go to because it has that banking in the actual straightaways, and then also that it's a concrete track. As I said, if you're Shane Van Gisbergen, you need all the practice you can get. You need all the qualifying. Well, I guess qualifying is one lap, so anywho. Well, practice and qualifying got rained out. So no laps for SVG. However, because he won at Sonoma last week, due to the metric that NASCAR has, it's based off your previous race finishing result, which for SVG was P1 first. And it's also based off your owner's point standing, which for SVG entering this race, I think was 26th. Somehow you combine that math, throw it in a formula, bam. When there's no qualifying, there's your starting lineup. So Shane Van Gisbergen, with no laps at Dover, started 6th. I thought he was just going to get run over at the start. Not like because, he's bad or anything, but, as I said, the previous circumstances. Never been to an oval like this in the Cup car. Has never made a single lap on this track in the Cup car. And it's also a brand new tire at this track, I might add. He actually held his own for 2.5 laps. He fell back to 10th, which, 6th to 10th in 2 laps, that's not terrible. Once again, he's kind of learning. He's trying to figure it out. And, something happens. He runs over something, faulty tire, fluke. The most recent example I can think of this was 2023 Kansas. He gets a puncture on lap 3, 4, and that's it. He has to pit under green. He goes 6 laps down, and they end up making up 5 positions at the end of this race because of the late race cautions and all the crashing that happened. But never had a shot to get a competitive finish. Was putting in top 20 lap times for the majority of the race once they got that tire fixed. But as I said, the day was doomed from the start. They never had a shot at a competitive finish because they had a puncture on lap 4 or something. We saw it with Martin Truex Jr. in 2023 at Kansas. Sometimes you just run over something you can't see. Sometimes just it's a bad tire. It's a fluke. It really is. There's nothing he could have done about it. Nothing the team could have done about it. Truly just an odd, bizarre situation. So that was Shane Van Gisbergen's day. He finishes 30th. Nothing he could have done. For the most part, nothing the team could have done. No fault of his own. And once again, by the end of this race, he was putting up decently competitive lap times. It's just at that point, they were 7 laps down.